England's footballers, cricketers and rugby players are all in action today. If you'd like to watch the second one-day international from Lords, that's available on your laptop, your tablet or your mobile device via Sky Go. England one down in that series, but England's rugby players will not want to go down here at Twickenham today. The target of the World Cup is getting ever closer for Chris Robshaw and Paul O'Connell, two men whose broad shoulders will have to carry a fair amount of the hope and expectation over the next few weeks. Will those hopes grow today, or will that burden become more uncomfortable? We're about to find out with Stuart Barnes and Miles Harrison.
Well, I don't know whether it's the fact it's a home World Cup for England, but these warm-up games have never felt hotter. Mind you, the same can be said for Ireland. Their heat provided by the fact that they've arguably never had a better chance of doing something very special at a World Cup than they have right now. And they're in the England dressing room today, of course. England in the opposition dressing room, getting ready for the grandest days of all. And this contest, a grand way to head into them. The England team, Joe Marler, Tom Youngs and Dan Cole, the first choice, front row now, and knowing the set piece has to be much better than it was in Paris. Jeff Parling brought into the team with that set piece improvement very much in mind. If the line out goes well today, Parling, the caller, will surely get the call to start against Fiji. Courtney Lawes is alongside. Tom Wood, captain Chris Robshaw and Ben Morgan, the back row. Morgan in the World Cup squad, but still looking to fully prove his match fitness, of course. Ben Youngs and George Ford are the halfbacks, and Brad Barrett and Jonathan Joseph together at last at centre. Just 14 minutes of international rugby as a pairing to date. And Johnny May, Anthony Watson, Mike Brown, the back three, looking to show the cutting edge so evident against France here 3 weeks ago. Ireland, like England, facing a second consecutive defeat. Like England, looking pretty fully loaded. Jack McGrath, Rory Best and Mike Ross, the front row. And two men who you don't really want to come up against when your line-out has not been functioning. Devin Toner and the captain, the immense Paul O'Connell. Sean O'Brien is back in the back row to assist Peter O'Mahony and Jamie Heaslip. The breakdown always vital. And again, what a test for England post their troubles in this department in Paris. Conor Murray and Johnny Sexton, the clear half-back number ones. And the centre pairing of choice these days are back together again as well, Robbie Henshaw and Jared Payne. The Irish back three, well, that's Dave Carney, Tommy Bowes, Simon Zebo is fullback, to see how he covers for the normal first choice Rob Carney in that position.
Well, victory is probably less imperative for Ireland than it is for England today. They have 5 weeks until their D-Day with France. England 3 weeks until Wales. England need the win, Ireland the right performance.
Ireland, the Six Nations champions, ahead of England in the world rankings. Is this the year when at last they produce a World Cup campaign to go down in history for all the right reasons? There's undoubtedly a sense of expectation surrounding Paul O'Connell's team, and he for one will be determined that this is not his last appearance at Twickenham in an Ireland jersey.
But if Ireland are going to add extra elements to the efficiency that took them to last season's Six Nations title, the unexposed talent of Robbie Henshaw is likely to be at the heart of any expansion. His hard lines and soft hands could prove quite the foil to Johnny Sexton inside him.
England have said there has been no panic post-Paris. Yes, it was performance the like of which they've not put in for quite a while, but they're back here at Twickenham to show it was just a blip. Chris Robshaw, the man leading his country into the World Cup, about to have his date with destiny along with this team.
Well, from playing for a squad place a few weeks ago, Jeff Parling suddenly finds himself propelled back into the limelight. If he wins line-out, calls well and helps his long-time teammate Tom Youngs, he will establish himself as a major contender to break the Courtney Lawes, Joe Launchbury partnership that Stuart Lancaster has so long favoured.
Ireland won the Six Nations meeting in Dublin. A win today, of course, is not essential, but certainly it would be a terrific boost for either side. going into the World Cup, especially as there is a clear, not remotely far-fetched scenario where these two could meet here in the semi-final. But here are the anthems, and the Irish anthem to be sung by Roisin Ailing, the daughter of the assistant groundsman here, Ian. And beautifully sung as well.
Now, if you have a bag on your seat, raise it now as we remain standing for the national anthem, led by Laura Wright.
A look at the replacements then. 5 Saracens in reserve for England, including Jamie George, who won his first cap a fortnight ago. He's got another chance to bolt right into the match day 23 come the World Cup. And Sam Burgess appears again too, looking for his second cap as well, with the nation wondering what mark that man can make on the World Cup. Nigel Owens, one of those talked about as a possible World Cup final referee. Should it all work out for him over the next few weeks. So he's very much in the spotlight too today. Sean Veltzman is the television match official. Running the line, Roman Pratt and Leighton Hodges. They will all be at the World Cup. And barring injury, so will all of these players. As the attention of the rugby world, of the sporting world, turns on these men now. Here we go then. England to kick off in the shape of George Ford. Down the middle as well. Early test for Zebo. 15 on his back today. England's captain Rob Shaw led the charge there. Conor Murray. Back to Zebo from Murray.
Awesome. Well, that's why Simon Zebo won the battle to get one of those places in a competitive area in Ireland, the back three, wing or full back. He's a talented footballer. First, he takes a decent kick-off from Ford, then you see that left foot. It's got a really good foot. Options today for Ireland. Sexton off the right foot, Zebo off the left, really useful. Now looking at the set piece so far, Ireland have gone very well. England today have to sort it out.
There's no option there. Wasn't the cleanest take, but it is still England ball. That's why Jeff Parling has been brought in. He will be the caller of the lineouts. Former Leicester man, of course, worked many times with Tom Youngs. Here's Matt Brown, takes on Tommy Bowe. Johnny May's there as well, Jonathan Joseph. George Ford finds Parling now in the loose. Ben Youngs. Joseph again, floats that out wide to Johnny May. Crunch comes the tackle from Zebo. Courtney Lawes rolled it out the tackle well there. Then Rob Shaw is caught by Rory Best. Ben Youngs again finds George Ford. Just pulls it back a little bit. Jonathan Joseph. Plenty of tempo about this start from England. It was a good kick-off and chase. And they'll want to lead with something now. Having made an early mark here. Tom Youngs from his brother Ben. Anthony Watson stepping. Caught France out down in that corner 3 weeks ago. Tom Youngs once more. Burrows almost below the tacklers. There's Ford and Barrett back in England colours for the first time since the autumn of last year. Carry from Lawes. Ireland having to work really hard in defence here. Tom Ward has a go.
Release. A lot more direct carrying today, Miles, than in Paris.
Ben Youngs wide again. Johnny May there again. Oh, coming through the tackles, Johnny May. We talk about his pace, but there we saw his power.
It was a fantastic start from England. They played some wonderful rugby there. The forwards committing men. Decoys all over the place. Joseph putting May into space once. He looked dangerous. He was stopped by Zebo the first time, but the second time he is not. Go all the way back to Parling just about winning the line out. Then it gets serious. Forwards carrying straight. Decoys, not for the first time. A missed pass to May. May couldn't bust through Zebo a minute or two ago. He can this time. The delay on the pass of Ben Youngs is superb. Right hand, very strong there. Zebo will be disappointed with the tackle. May is delirious with that finish there. Absolutely superb.
It was Tommy Bowe who was flattened, then Zebo came in and could do nothing about it.
Well, we've seen the pace of Johnny May making and scoring tries. There we saw the power.
And George Ford keeps his head down, and when he looks, if he bothers to, the flags will be up.
Well, for all Ford's travails in Paris, his goal kicking was superb, and he's played a fine role in the start for England here. May and Watson have had their hands on the ball. They've been given space, they've taken it. Now, Tommy Bowe is a very strong defender, and he'll be disappointed, but that is fantastic start for England. Johnny May, the entire 31.
Sexton hardly touched it. It was Zebo who cleared to touch. And England proving the importance of that set-piece possession that Parling just about got his hands on. That's another good kick.
Think back to the first 5 or 6 minutes against France. Ford put a second kick out on the full. He missed a touch. He was nervous with his passing. England not rushing at 100 miles an hour, but they're still playing with pace and intensity. There's far more control in their game, and certainly there's far more focus in their thinking.
Rory Best to throw. Ireland's most cap hooker. And now it's Ireland to show their ways with Robbie Henshaw driving it up. Best involved again, Murray. Jamie Heaslip. Conor Murray. Who started the quarter-final in New Zealand 4 years ago. And he's blossomed into a top international player. And Johnny May is blossoming now in all aspects of his game. Take on the high ball. Excellent there.
Afterwards.
Gives England a good opportunity just to clear the lines now. Ben Young static. Does he go right foot box? Yep.
For May to chase. Must let the man drop. Not sure he entirely did there. An advantage being played here as Sexton came to ground. Referee is going to give a penalty should Ireland want it. Indeed need it, and they do.
Just a question of timing. A very good kick from Ben Youngs. Johnny May, who's finished brilliantly.
You realise what you're doing, and then you left him be. It's just a penalty. Be very careful. Let him land, please.
Finished brilliantly. Took a high ball very well, but with that pace of his, he just got there a fraction too early. Pulled himself out of it. No danger of a yellow card, but he has handed Johnny Sexton a chance for Ireland to open their account.
So we go to the gain line as Johnny Sexton prepares to kick, and Pat Sons.
Well, 2 weeks ago in France, we saw just what a poor job England did at breakdown. Lancaster talked about intensity. Look at the ruck time here, straight from the kickoff. Huge pressure on the ball. 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds for the defence to get on the front foot. We see it again, a great offensive tackle, more pressure on the ball. Another big ruck, 7, 8, 9 seconds, and then look at the kick chase from England, zoning in on the kicker. That leads to a poor exit play from Ireland. England get possession 20 metres out, and it leads to a try. Fantastic start from England.
Remember to keep an eye off the ball and after the ball for me, okay? I'll be following the ball all the time.
Sexton closing in, as you can see, on 500 international points. Got David Humphries in his sights. Ronan O'Gara still way on the horizon. 5 from 6 in the Dublin meeting earlier in the year. Not at his best against Wales, but he was not alone in that. And that is not a bad start. He'll take that. Just enough.
I guess you call that perfectly weighted. A smile there from Joe Smith, and a good reason. 3 points for Ireland, but it's been all England in the first 8 minutes. Sexton, he tormented England in Dublin, and that little bounce tortured them quite insane way. But a very good kick from Ford.
Game down the middle. Then Rob Shaw trying to get there, and the referee calls that one a fair contest. Unlike May's indiscretion, which led to the 3 points to put Ireland on the board. Sean O'Brien. Murray didn't quite get the distance on that, but it was a toughie for Mike Brown. This one was so good underneath the high ball, it has too many questions on that occasion. Ben Youngs throws the dummy after good work from Tom Youngs to retrieve it for England. There's another Ben Morgan, got 41 minutes against France in his first game back. Tom Wood finds Jonathan Joseph. That sidestep it has served England so well in 2015. Johnny May goes chasing once more. Back goes Tommy Bowe, bruised mentally more than anything after that missed tackle which led to the try. And then the hurried kick away by Zebo again.
I'll tell you who's playing really well for England in the first 10 minutes of this game. Ben Youngs, a lovely floated pass for the try. His box kicking's good. He's threatening with his little dummy. And that's a super little dribbler there from Ben Youngs, just giving England territory. He and Ford at their best take them to a new place as a half-back partnership. They were brilliant against France in the Six Nations. They were very poor last week. England look a different team when Youngs is fizzing and when Ford is just putting England in the places they need to be. It's a good start from England's half-backs.
There's the England management team.
I told their night the same thing. On a box kick from the base of the ruck, yeah, make sure your chasers are behind when they kick to get it very close.
Roman Platt needs a little bit of treatment here.
Well, we've been worried about players going down on the verge of the World Cup. We don't want referees going down. Roman Platt, is he down to do England versus Australia? I think he is, isn't he? Here's the try. Lovely little decoy from Mike Brown. No decoy with the power of the right forearm there of Johnny May.
Rory Maybank is on standby if required, but I think Romain Poit's going to be okay. Johnny May was certainly okay, a little bit reminiscent of the celebration of Jason Robinson in that World Cup final and that score all those years ago. Well, Romain Poit is still down, so we'll go to Pat again.
Yeah, you would have to say Ireland slightly lucky not to give a penalty away here. As you can see, great kick, lovely chase, and it was Conor Murray there, just leaning his shoulder there, stopping May from putting more pressure on the ball. So slightly lucky there, you'd have to say, not to give a penalty away.
England cut the line out. Youngs to his brother.
Away!
Here's Dan Cole, like Mike Ross, the other tight head on the field today with 51 caps to his name going into this match. Plenty of experience there. George Ford needed help, and Tom Youngs was that man again to help out, and he's done that very well indeed. Jamie Heaslip, a tough man to try and shake off. Brad Barrett to Jonathan Joseph. Back goes Zebo. Now where's this one going to bounce? It's sitting up actually in the end for Zebo.
Stay green. Stay green.
Plenty of time to look for big distance, which he gets. Now George Ford will not get the chance to take the quick one because Zebo followed up with that winger's speed of his.
There's tremendous play here. Tom Youngs, first of all, helping out George Ford, but then keep an eye out for Ben Morgan. It's not flash at the moment. What he's doing is what England didn't do in Paris. They're winning the game line. It doesn't have to be 5 metres. If it's 2 metres, it puts Ben Youngs on the front foot.
England get it again, just. There's Joseph. The stats will say they're winning the line-outs. They are a little bit wobbly.
Stay.
There's Dave Carney, younger brother of Rob, who's not been selected, rested for this one.
Lost.
Sexton going round, but Bow into contact, into Marler. Peter Amani. One of 5 captains of the Irish side in this team. Who've led their country, not short of leaders there. Mike Brown talked about his catching. There it is again. Rob Shaw talking this week, the England captain, of the confidence that will come from winning this match and how important the result is to his side. And they've got a good start.
Play.
Tommy Bowes, Gary Owen. Bit messy, Morgan sorts it out, Brown has it, and May's off again. Takes on Jared Payne. Cross comes Zebo, he's going nowhere but the touchline. And Johnny May once more posing that threat, that cutting edge out wide.
Miles, we were talking to Joe Smith yesterday, weren't we, when Ireland were training here, and Joe Smith was saying England are bound to want to get balls to their wings, and sometimes people in England are very quick to knock Johnny May, but Johnny May's sheer pace and the added power now makes him so dangerous. That's really good skill there. He and Watson are looking threatening. England are getting ball out to them, and they are looking dangerous.
Well, let's get the early thoughts of Will Greenwood. Will?
Just picking up on what Stuart's talking about, Ben Youngs and George Ford looking a little bit more composed. And as backs, we like to take some of the credit, but in reality, it comes back to the forwards again. Just in Paris, we lost those physical contacts when those big carries came on. The French rocked us, which meant Youngs and Ford were at best flat, but more often than not on the back foot. Today, they're winning the contacts when they're carrying, which means we're getting around the corner better. The ball's a bit more comfortable. Ben Youngs is in that armchair, and from that, we get the game that we'd like to see at Twickenham.
Yeah, it goes back, doesn't it, to the odd metre that England are making all the time. People like Morgan are doing a good job. Last week, Billy Vunipola was offloading more than he was carrying. This is a completely different England shape to their game. It's traditional England in that it's direct, but there's that modern style of play where they're looking to get the wide men into it, and it's a real threat for Ireland at the moment.
Taken by Courtney Lawes, Joe Launchbury on for his 24th cap as a blood replacement for Jack Parling, and part of this England drive. Tom Youngs holding at the base. Ben wants it now, gives it to George Ford. Crossfield kick meant for Anthony Watson. Zebo goes up. Oh, Watson's got it! Paris was the worst England had played for a long, long time. It had to be better today, and it already is.
Well, Stuart Lancaster told George Ford he's under pressure. Owen Farrell is looking to zero on that number 10 shirt. What a response from the Bath fly half. Hurried in everything he did for 40 minutes last week. Measured, precise, perfect there. And Anthony Watson, his timing is superb. The West Country 1-2 there. Wonderful weight from Ford. Watson commits himself. Zebo, who is good in the air, is just undone by the perfection of the kick and the timing of Anthony Watson's charge.
Well, Watson's finish is in that corner against France. All about his feet, his superb speed and shimmy. That, in its own way, every bit as brilliant. What a finish.
Think about Joe Smith yesterday talking about how impressed he was with the England wings. He must be feeling like a bit of a Cassandra at the moment, because it's all coming true against his team. When England are getting chance, they're taking them. When they play Wales, Australia, they get chances, they have to take them. So far, so good from an English perspective.
But this time, George Ford unable to add the conversion. If anything, it was a slightly easier kick than the other one. It was a bit further out, but what a kick this was.
And what a take there from Watson. Good chase, makes a great kick.
The England bench love it. Paul O'Connell hands on it, but only finds Ben Morgan. Absolutely all England in this first quarter of an hour or so.
Stay, stay, stay!
Here's Zebo. Resorting to that Gary Owen again. Oh, Tommy Bowe got himself in a good position, but wasn't able to take it. Mike Brown bursting through. O'Mahony's tackle, but not before Brown had made some game there. Ford to Barrett. On to Launchbury. Just galloping on, Big Joe Launchbury. More shy horse than Thoroughbred. And there's Marler. There's a nasty injury, and Nigel Owens immediately wants the medics on.
You sure?
Irish front five have got to start making their tackles. Rory Best missed one, and then Devon Toner missed Joe Marler badly. Conor Murray is the man down. Ireland have a number of players they cannot be without in the World Cup. You would say that Murray is one of them. He's down at the moment. There's Rory Best missing the tackle. It's a mismatch, but Joe Marler really shouldn't be getting through Devon Toner as easily.
Apologies there from Nigel Owens to Chris Robshaw that he had to stop the game, but absolutely the right decision. Conor Murray was not moving. The good news is sitting up now. Well, we've heard from Will. Let's hear now from Johnny.
Yeah, just wanted to go back to that last try, really, the England option off the line-out. The line-out drive came to a stop. What it looks like here is he's just going for a sort of hit-and-hope one-on-one, but it's not. You've got one guy coming from the outside at speed, getting height and approaching the ball. You've got one guy backing off in defence with no jumping ability because of how he is and with no sight of the opposition. Therefore, it's not a one-on-one. Massively organised play, which is a huge advantage to England and a great way to show an offensive kicking weapon. Look at the difference in the game now from one kick and one score.
And look at England's alignment again. They've gone Ford, Brown and Watson behind. Watson picks brilliant lines in his earlier days as a fullback. He is in the threatening running position there.
Owen Redden is on for Conor Murray, who fair sprinted on the field, so that was even more encouraging. exit was as good as it gets, so hopefully it's not too bad.
And hopefully, Miles, we're going to get a scrum that stays up here. I have seen so many of these lines when you get three backs standing right behind each other. It's something Brian Ashton worked with us at Bath 1,000 years ago, and I don't think we ever achieved anything, and I haven't seen anyone else yet. So let's see what England can do now. They've certainly got some threats.
It's much better from England than it was in Paris. Morgan, two Youngs. Now here come those backs. Trying to get onto it quickly. Young's got a little bit away from them. That little nibble on the floor, knock on from Tom Wood. Referee was well placed. He was right on that. Here's Courtney Laws. Youngs again to Ford. May staying wide. Barrett is on the crash ball. Cutting against the grain. Youngs again to Brown. He's showing his strength once more. There might be a little bit of space here for Joseph. And he's deadly when there's a little bit of space. Doesn't need much. Ford to Rob Shaw. England was all the momentum in this match. Not quite all the points, but it feels that way. Ireland grateful to have anything at this stage. Once more defending hard as Laws goes in. Nothing coming back from there.
Scrum down and playable. Turnover ball.
Also, Irish put it.
Well, Ireland haven't won many of the little scraps, have they? But that one, they get one of their traditional turnovers there, keeping the ball up. A traditionally messy scrum. And they're what England are trying to do. Three men are coming round, and they're hoping that if Ireland fade off early, Youngs has got the pace to go. And if England can get quick ball from Ben Youngs, they've got three people. We see that other replay. If Joseph gets that ball away, it's a try, but you have to give a lot of credit, I think, to Simon Zebo. He made the call and he made the pass just about impossible.
But England that close again, and Zebo more than most knows it.
Time on.
Firefighting at the moment in Irish defence.
Bind. Set.
That's perfectly steady for Redden. And then Henshaw finds Sexton, finds Zebo. Tackled by Joseph. Rolls reverse that time. Sean O'Brien. Redden to Sexton to Zebo. And goes Carney. But the whole of the Irish back three bunched into a 5-metre square on that far side of the field. So not too much width will be offered this way.
Tom Young's got in there and he slowed it down really well.
Jack McGrath. Good carry from him. A good assist from Jarrod Payne. England on the floor might just turn that over, but illegally.
Lost the first time, hands in the second time, and then off your feet.
Hands in the ruck, the call. Johnny Sexton puts it into touch. We go to Pat Sanderson.
Well, perhaps the most disappointing aspect 2 weeks ago in France was the line out. Three things to get right: get it in straight, get your lifters at full extension, and hit the jumper at the top of the jump. And you can see here, Laws nowhere near full extension. Now, compare that to this week. Two lifters, full extension, ball in perfectly, and it was off that line out that the try was scored. It's no mistake that England are 12-3 up there. Set piece is good.
There's a chance for Ireland to come back. Rory Best. And a good line out from Ireland. Heaslip won it. O'Brien. Redden. Paul O'Connell. 104th cap today. Redden just playing it short with the forwards here. Best was taken man and ball, but somehow they managed to transfer that backwards and done really well. Redden just checks what Sexton wants to do here. Now Ireland must use it. Payne seemed to be offside there in front of Reddin. Sure whether the touch judge picked that up, but it didn't really matter in the end as Mike Brown calls for the mark.
Aussie rule stuff there, ball over the head, fantastic from Mike Brown. He took an absolutely amazing catch under pressure against France in the first warm-up game, about 5 metres backwards from where he took that one, but that's another beauty there from Brown. He does lend solidity to England under a high ball.
He's got a hefty boot as well, and we saw it there.
Well, it's an amazing kick from the middle of the pitch. Fantastic kick. It's a smart play from Redden, but watch Brown. Watch him now. He can't allow that one to come into the breadbasket. He's under pressure. He reaches high. He jumps high. Tremendous technique and a fine clearance.
And the news on Conor Murray is that he will not return. No great surprise there, not just because he might have took a knock on the head that might have concussed him when he was out there anyway, but there's absolutely no point taking any risks either with a head injury or a player just on the verge of a World Cup. Here's Zebo to Carney. Go through all the relevant protocols before he's allowed to play again. Good pressure from England. Calls the knock on. Now Rob Shaw to Ford, to Brown and May.
Jamie, after the knock on, offside the side of the ruck.
So advantage over after the knock on, but not the penalty offence, the offside. And there is Conor Murray. Good to see him sitting up.
Advantage for knock on, number 8.
Key man for Ireland. He was never going to be risked. There are bigger days ahead for Murray and for Ireland. 5 weeks today they play France, and with Canada, Romania and Italy in their build-up, whatever happens today, Ireland will be confident.
We'll carry on. Carry on.
They'll be confident that they'll be in right shape that when they play France, and that is their big day.
Ford puts it out. England will throw into the line-out, but Tom Young's their hooker is just out of the picture at the moment. More ways than one. No, he's okay.
He's been brilliant around the park in the first 20 minutes. He hasn't been immaculate line-out ball. As Pat says, it's better, but a lot better than it was in Paris.
Well, around the park, that never changes. That's a constant from Youngs.
Yeah, what's good there, I mean, 4 out of 4 there. They're not all great balls, but 3 of them are to the tail, difficult balls. And if you win those balls, they're crackers.
Well, England have won it. Wouldn't quite describe that one as cracking.
So that's 5 out of 5 now.
Of course, had that really short one to brother Ben. Stepped in at the line out, the scrum half, and there he is. To give it to Rob Shaw, who saw the space there and stepped on it.
It's a nice ball from Ben Youngs, wasn't it, inside?
Tom Wood carries, Ben Youngs to Mike Brown. It's another England attack. Here's George Ford to Jonathan Joseph. There is Tom Youngs in the loose, and Johnny May again! May's on fire. England are on fire.
Well, Johnny May shouldn't be at Twickenham. He should have been in Beijing. He was absolutely flying down that line there. Well, I know he's quick, but he seems to have picked up 1.5 meters in the last couple of months.
Perhaps should have been the hurdles as well.
Well, yeah. This is a beautiful ball from Ben Youngs. A nice offload from the captain. And then George Ford, where he loves to play for Bath, not fly half position. Mike Brown's come in, and he just ensures the continuity of the passing from that second receiver position. Brown pops in, Ford is there. It's a lovely decoy from Barrett. And look at this pace. Reading doesn't have a chance. And there you go, 110-metre hurdles. They specialise in that in Gloucester. I think the trail leg wasn't quite right. Don't think it was a great dive, but when you're travelling that fast, you can get away with it.
Heading for a nasty fall in the steeplechase, I think. But Johnny May made the tackle almost impossible with that leap, and he is loving this.
Okay, so
Try against France.
Time out. What do you want to check, Sean?
Pass.
Sean
pass.
Veldsman wants to check the final pass.
When I have a call before the kick is taken from the team, I got to go and
From
check.
Tom Youngs.
Mike Catt was giving Nigel Owens one of those smiles that I know very much from our playing days. You could see why Sean Veldsman wants to have a look at that.
I'm not sure Romain Poit could have had any better position to look at it live. I suppose he could have been a couple of metres back, but that is not looking good for Youngs and May. Look at the cut of the grass.
That looks forward to me.
It does.
What are you thinking, Sean?
It is forward. That is forward.
Hands point forward, ball goes forward.
Does it look like it's travelling forward to you?
Just one
Nigel
second.
Owens is mightily suspicious.
If you just look at the right hand, that ball is propelled forwards. What's the right hand now? That can't be anything but forwards.
Okay, it looks to me like...
Just be patient, Nigel.
Huh?
Just be patient.
Say again?
Just be patient. We're just looking for another one.
What are you two thinking, boys? It looks
Hawkeye
to me like
takes
it's
a
travelling
closer
forward.
look.
Forward pass, yeah? Sure, we're all here look like it's travelling forward, so we're going to go with the forward pass, yes? Do you agree?
Nigel, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I believe the pass was forward from White.
Say again?
I believe the last pass was forward.
Yes, it was forward.
Yeah.
Okay. No try. Pass was forward.
Well, he still should have been in Beijing. He's travelling that fast. But Tom Youngs' pass did go forward.
Okay.
And that will be seen by England as a wasted opportunity. The quality of the passing from Brown, Ford and Joseph was very good. It's hard to fault Tom Youngs too much, he's playing so well. But really, that wasn't a pressure pass, and that should not have gone forward.
And in the end, it was a no jump.
Keep the weight off, lads,
Let
please.
off for Ireland, though. It's wonderful play from England, but great frustration there because that was a poor finish.
Got unnoticed by Nigel Owens. Himself wasn't in a bad position. Could see round the players in front of him. He was virtually in line with that pass, but I think it was the right decision.
Yeah, well done, Sean Veldsman there.
And Ireland, who had almost taken their positions at the scrum, having seen the replay on the giant screen, have gone well at that scrum and got the penalty.
And the South African TMO had a big role to play, though, because Ford was pretty much about to set himself up to kick, and the South Africans said, hang on a minute, Nigel, I will need to look at this. And I think we got the right result there with technology. That's well played by the officials, especially Sean Veldsman. Not quite sure what Romain Poit was looking at. Trust technology.
Stay 2 meters and stay inside the 15. Stay inside to the line that's over.
Best throws to Omani. Certainly kept Ireland right in this game, but they'll need something more, you feel, before half-time. Officials have denied England from getting that next score, which could prove to be a pretty crucial one. Sexton away from Parling. Just in time. May goes back. Mike Brown.
Stay White.
Sexton again. Throws the dummy.
No tackler, no in here. Play on. No tackler, no in here. Play on.
No obstruction with the call there from the referee. Peter Omani was hovering, but not illegally. There's Paul O'Connell. Redden Rory Best, good carry. More like it from Ireland. For the first time in the game, really, starting to play their game. The game that's taken them to number 2, now number 3 in the world, but uncharacteristic errors.
It's just not happening off Johnny Sexton either. Pass is just not sticking at the moment for Ireland. Haven't had much possession. When they've got it, they haven't had great penetration. They do not at the moment look as switched on as England. There's no doubt about that.
Let's have some space and voice music. Rory, step back a step, please.
When it comes to the World Cup, I think it's fair to say England need to hit the ground running before Ireland do.
Yeah, I think so, Miles. I mean, Fiji are going to be difficult in 13 days. And then if they get over that, you know, they've got Wales coming up, and that's going to be massive. So, you know, you can see some impressive statistics there from England. In a way, England's big first game comes 2 weeks before Ireland's, and I think that is significant. And I think at the moment that is being reflected in the quality of these contrasting performances.
Oh, that's Ireland driving England off the ball. That's a feather in Jamie Heaslip and his packed cap. And that is Tommy Bowe, and that's much more inviting. Again, it catches a foot, which nearly causes an error, but Ireland still have it now inside the England 22. All on the base of that scrum. They delivered for Paul O'Connell, but they've not delivered possession from the ruck, and Mike Brown is able to clear again. Pat, gain line.
Well, as much said about Barrett's defence, on this particular opportunity, it's his selfless running line that really fixes that drift defence from Ireland. You can see Barrett taking that out to in line, Joseph coming round the back, that turns the winger in, simple 3-on-2, and very nearly an England try, but great work off the ball from Barrett on that occasion.
Great work from England as well. I think it's their first breakdown turnover in 3 games there. Ben Morgan involved, and that was key.
Sean O'Brien passes to England's Dan Cole. Ben Youngs knew there might be a little bit of space in there. Johnny May all over Owen Reddin. Tom Wood flying in as well. England get the line out 10 minutes before the interval. There's no keeping Johnny May out of this match, and Ben Youngs marshalling things so well alongside George Ford at half-back.
Yeah, Ireland just so loose at the moment. Rob Shaw's in there fighting away for it. Slow ball, and then Ben Morgan there. You see the wide plant to the legs, and the ball comes out. That's an important turnover, and not for the first time. Ben Youngs, well aware of the space, plays the simple call, but what a good kick it is when you've got Johnny May's pace on the chase.
Now that is like it from the England line-out. Much more like it should be. Barrett and Youngs, and then George Ford, but that's a good decision by Carney. He's taken the man and he's dislodged the ball. There's Henshaw on the floor, Mike Ross. Might be a chance here for Ireland. Jared Payne asks Sebo to go with him, and Carney's going. Having started it all off, he's still hitting men down. Joseph couldn't control it, and England give the penalty away. Really no choice there, Marlow and co.
Virtues of a good turnover. Dave Carney, excellent there, read the play well. Ford loves to play that roll-round ball, and that is crucial there. Ireland were under pressure. Suddenly England are back, chasing backwards, and they concede the penalty. And Sexton, he's going for the corner. He's got one off the crossbar, decides to go for 5 metres this time, and that's a very good kick. And this is a very good piece of defensive play from Dave Carney. By the time Ford gets that ball from Youngs, there's nothing he can do, but the left wing's timing is good. He rocks him. Effectively, that's a 70-metre gain for Ireland.
Ireland encouraged by that, encouraged by the most recent scrum. What about this line-out? Get this set piece right, and they could get that score before half-time. But in goes Parling and robs it. And that's what's been happening to England far too often in the warm-up games. Now Parling is disrupting opposition ball. Rob Shaw let the man drop to the floor. Reddin, McGrath. Reddin again to Sexton. It's a narrow attack and it's been lost by Jared Payne. Then Laws and Youngs brothers combined to find Rob Shaw and Ben Morgan with the boot. The crowd enjoyed that. Simon Zebo. His boot has been heavily used in this first half. Here comes George Ford. Oh, that wasn't too convincing. And Carney involved again. Redden to O'Brien. It's really starting to open up here. Floated out by Jared Payne this time. Tommy Bowe, who's not had the best of afternoons so far. Barrett finds Joseph. And that stayed in. Henshaw to Zebo. Carney wants it. He wants the counter-attack, and Zebo, he won't turn that invitation down. Heaslip. Back to his feet, Tom Ward. Just slowed it down a little bit. Sexton. That's straight to May. He's got time to trap it. Crowd wanted him to run it, but he's gone for the boot this time. And he's going to get a clear catch. Oh, now. Barged to the floor, but the referee thought it was okay. They're the two Youngs brothers again to find Ford, and that's good work from Wood. On to Watson. Watson cutting back inside. England's dangerous wingers at it again, but they've lost it and given it to Zebo and Tommy Bowe. Well, what's he doing with that? Thought initially he was lining to get it off the field. There was a chance for a counter-attack maybe for Ireland there. Gave it straight back to England and Ford.
Lost now.
Dan Cole off the floor to Ben Youngs. That looked a tired pass. I don't think an advantage was being played, no.
Nothing wrong. Get on with it.
Youngs to Ford. Joseph. Everybody needed a breather there, I think, as pause was pressed. Ford low, and now it is into touch. Pick the bones out of that.
Just wondering, Clive, your feelings on the shape of this England performance. They were very predictable in Paris a couple of weeks ago. They seem as if they're in test match mode today. How impressed are you?
Yeah, very impressed, Stuart. I've been watching very closely Rob Shaw and Wood, and England play so much better when the ball's off the floor. The amount of link play from Rob Shaw especially, but also Wood, it just kept the fluidity going. So, you know, when we put the clock on the ruck time, it has been quite slow, but when we keep it off the ball, which is really Rob Shaw and Wood, we play so much better, and the link play with Rob Shaw has been outstanding. And but England has got to tighten up a bit here because he's getting a little bit loose now, and this is a must-win game, but we are playing so well. But I think it's coming from our front five, but just so happy for Rob Shaw and Wood because they really are playing the way they want to play the game as opposed to maybe the more traditional 6 and 7.
Thanks, Clive. The May disallowed try. Rob Shaw started all of that with the way which he saw the space. Now May's trying to do the same here. Anthony Watson was just getting a little bit of treatment after his latest attack down this flank. Now he's rescuing this situation for England with the help of Joseph and others. Here's Ben Morgan, who's looking much more match fit, isn't he, Morgan?
Morgan's looking very good, and Watson, May's getting all the headlines, but Watson looks sharp, doesn't he?
Here's Parling, working well at the line out, stealing a bit of opposition ball too. But Ireland at the breakdown, almost getting that, but England got it back. And Youngs towards the corner. Where's this one going to break? Oh, perfectly for England.
Go back to what I said in the first 10 minutes of the match. When Youngs and Ford are in tandem, when they're on the front foot and they're getting quick ball, they can be world class, and we've been looking for world class players for England. And Clive just said he wants England to tighten up. Brilliant kick to put Ireland under pressure. Ideal.
Nothing tight there from Rory Best. Saw that it was on, saw that Heaslip was free, and the quick take on the line out. Quick thinking from the Irish hooker. And Zebo. Now will Morgan try and keep this to himself for a quick one? No, not too interested.
And Zebo in that left boot gives Ireland a get out of jail, makes it difficult for England to pin him. I know they put pressure on early in the game, but they couldn't get to him there, and that's a good 40-metre gain. And Tom Youngs, it hasn't been perfection by any stretch of the imagination, but I like the fact there's been a lot of ambition, and England have been going for the tail, trying to get good ball where they're so dangerous on the gain line.
Yeah, Parlin called that one to himself. Seemed like the right call at this stage of the half. Marler, Ford, Barrett gives it to Brown again, who once more challenges down that channel. And the supporter May. It is an area that England really trying to exploit out wide today. Watson too, as you say, Stuart. A terrific first half. That's not so good though by Cole.
Hands away, White, lost.
Redden came on for the injured Conor Murray, but he's okay sitting up. So no major injuries in this first half, which will be a relief to both sets of coaches. That's their top priority today, even in front of result. Has to be this close to the big one. That's well worked by Henshaw. Showed his strength there, the man who scored in March. Turned out to be a match-winning try. To date, his only test try for the 22-year-old. Here's Rory Best, Sean O'Brien. So a little bit cagey around halfway from both sides here. Maybe one eye on the clock.
Ireland are very scrappy on their little offloads, aren't they, in this first half? England much sharper, and they definitely deserve at least that 12-3 lead.
Back, lads, step. Hughes. Okay, thank you.
Sexton, little chip in behind here, could be interesting with the bounce. He's taking it towards Mike Brown, who again comes through the traffic just about unscathed. And then the offload. So will there be time for this? There should be. Yes, there is.
I think that's Mike Brown's first mistake in this half. He has been a rock at fullback. He does brilliantly because Jamie Heaslip's coming. He beats him to the ball, but he's just got to go to ground there. He overplays that. Johnny May with the knock-on, but there's no way Mike Brown should be flipping that out of his left hand, having done all the hard work.
And for those of you who can lip read, I think he agrees with you. He was not too happy with what he did there. A bit more than flipping.
I don't think Mike Brown has your vocabulary, Harrison. I think flipping is just about the level. But a serious point now, England are 12-3 up. They played nearly all the rugby in this half. And, you know, it's one silly little error there from Mike Brown, and you can see that's not the happiest management, and it gives Ireland a chance to come away with something, and they're banging this game when they haven't been in any aspect at all. They get a score here, even a penalty or a drop goal, 6 points down, they've been outplayed. Joe Schmidt says, hey, we're in this game.
There's a mark, boys. Give yourself some space. Keep the driving.
Scrum will be interesting, Miles. Last time we had a scrum in this situation, it was on England's push on, and they were shoved off it. Can Ireland assert themselves at the scrum again?
Crouch. Bind. Set. Hold it there.
Big scrum, this one. Heaslip, Reading goes to the blind side. Heaslip happy to keep it in, maybe looking for the penalty bit. Now it's out to Sexton, and then Henshaw to Carney. Crossfield initially, but Carney gets himself going forward. And England will be tense and a little bit nervous here as Ireland look for the last score. May's calling for support on that far side, feeling a little bit exposed maybe. It's all down the middle initially with Rory Best again.
Thank you.
England looking to hold their discipline, but also to hold Ireland out here from their line, and they're getting ever closer. Redden to Mike Ross. Redden again, Sexton. Toner, that's a nice pull back to Payne. There's a chance here for Carney, put his head down. But England covered the space well. Joseph was across, so too Watson.
Hughes.
To Romani.
Lost now, release.
What a very different scoreboard, very different feel to the match it will be if Ireland get a score here, but Sean O'Brien has lost it. And England hold out. First time in the half they've had any long period of defensive work. But Ireland proving there that they are too good to be out of this. England's half, no doubt about that. Could have been better. That disallowed try, the forward pass from Tom Youngs to Johnny May. But England leading by 12 points to 3 at half-time with 2 tries scored. Anthony Watson and Johnny May did get 1 each in this first half, and England were set on their way by Johnny May. This is the one that did count. And at half-time, you'll be able to hear the views of Johnny Wilkinson, Clive Woodward, Will Greenwood and Shane Horgan as England lead.
What a difference 2 weeks make. England have got their snap and their crackle back, and they discovered it from the off. Johnny May with the power early on for England's opening try, just to settle the nerves. A little bit of frustration, no doubt, coming out in that celebration as well. Ireland, in truth, have been very, very flat indeed. We've seen very little from them bar that Johnny Sexton penalty. England then crossed with about 20 minutes on the clock. A try built in Bath, but finished here at Twickenham as Anthony Watson went over once again. And the real truth is that England should be home and hosed. Johnny May thought he'd got his second, but unfortunately the forward pass from a late TMO means that we sit 12-3 at half-time. Ireland with all sorts of problems to get stuck into at half-time, most notably the 11 missed tackles. Their defence has been very, very passive indeed. England's carrying game has got going, and the breakdown as well, beginning to go England's way. It was one of the big talking points off the back of those 2 games against Paris. We've got Sir Clive and Shane alongside here. How pleased should Stuart Lancaster and his team be with that first 40?
I think very pleased, Alex. To me, it's just the variety. The line-outs have been exceptionally good, the scrums have been good, but the variety of the game has been very good. It's been a complete 15-man game. Watson may have had the ball in the hand so many times, but I just think they'll be very, very pleased. The scoreboard, as I say, doesn't quite reflect what's happening out there, but they'll be very, very pleased. I just hope they keep this team on the field now for quite a substantial part of the second half, but great first half. And I think leg weary in France, fresh tonight. Yeah. Very different game.
Joe Schmidt said pre-game his main priority today was to keep everyone fit. Not even that's gone his way, because Conor Murray's gone off with a head knock. I mean, what are your thoughts on Ireland?
There's plenty more concerns about that. It's probably the worst 40 minutes of the Joe Schmidt era. Extremely passive in the line speed. It's allowing mismatches for the England backs against Ireland forwards who are reaching with their arms. No aggression at the tackle, no desperation in the tackle. It's very, very concerning for Ireland, especially around collision time. In these games in World Cup where you're not showing your whole hand, you have to win the collisions. Ireland are going to have to change their tactics. They're going to have to go out a little bit wider, and they're going to have to run with more aggression, make some meters after contact, because both in attack and defence, things are very concerning. The only thing I'd say from an Ireland perspective is we're still in the game. We should be 25 points plus down, and we're not.
Wow. All the intensity with England, and you're going to have a look at that.
Well, 2 weeks ago, England in Paris were really poor with the lack of intensity. Just picking up what Shane's talking about. Today, it's Ireland's lack of intensity, which is allowing England to really dominate the physicality, win those short yards in and around the ruck, and give Ben Youngs a wonderful platform to play off.
Yeah, just watch when he's running here. Ben Youngs, every time he picks the ball up, he's not under threat. He'll have a look, which way do I want to go? This way. And when we get it here, there's no rush in defence. Again, clear the ruck. This time, a simple one-on-one. Got to stop him there, but no, let that go. The game is different now if he gets stopped here or here. Now, because of that, momentum goes. Same again here. Simple's tackle there. Compared to that, the whole game is based in those moments.
Yeah, and so from that, that's created the platform. Then they got the territory, and then we're just going to pick up on what Johnny talked about during the game, about attacking from out to in when you're a winger. And if I just roll it in here, you'll just begin to see Watson attacking a very, very static Simon Zebo.
Yeah, definitely. Just roll it on a couple of frames if you will. Just bang on there. Okay, right. First thing is that kick needs to be right by the line. If it's back here, it's no good. We already know it's one-on-one. It's not. We can't help these guys. Has to be over the line or right by it. Look at the body language of Watson. Look at the body language of Zebo. Who would you rather be? Yep. Looking at the ball here with no idea what's going on, or watching it right away? And look when you get to the next angle. as we roll on here, look who's got the high knee, look who's attacking the ball. So now check, there's the knee, there's the aggressive attack, here's the body going up. There's only one winner there. When he catches it, he's right by the line, dotted over, end of score. No chance of anyone coming back to recover.
So we saw two really clinical tries taken very early on. Missed a couple of opportunities. As Shane talks about, Ireland is still in this, but England's performance has been pretty strong.
Good stuff, fellas. Thank you very much. Let's get to the gain line, and Pat is going to have a look at England's defence.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about the attack, haven't we? But England without the ball are equally as impressive. Their work into position and their line speed's fantastic. We clipped at one short clip of it. But essentially, if you look here, it's a white England wall. There's nowhere for Ireland to go. They spin it out wide. 2, 3, good accurate passes. Again, good pressure on the ball again from England. But watch the white wall, all in position again. There's no way through. Now, this is the critical bit and the big improvement from 2 weeks ago. It's the distance that they take out of the Ireland attack. 4 metres on the first phase, another 3 to 4 metres on the second phase, and Ireland are forced into yet another error.
OK, Pat, thank you very much indeed. I mean, the reality is the analysis is all England because they're the ones who've had the ball and the line speed in defence. From an Irish point of view, how on earth do you address this second half? What will Joe Schmidt want to see?
Well, you have to get your defensive system together. You've got to get communication between the guys defending around the ruck and out wide. At the moment, it's a completely disjointed defensive system, and if that's not addressed, Ireland don't have a hope. The second they have to talk about it, stop running into the most protected area of England. There are huge forwards around either side of the ruck, and Ireland are going in there. They're not making any meters on contact whatsoever, and they're getting driven back, as we saw there from Pat's example. Those two things have to change, and if they do, there's mileage in this team, because Ireland aren't a bad team. They're not a bad team overnight. If they make those two changes, the effect will be serious.
Still in England's wingers from their point of view.
I'll get Shane on straight away.
Yeah, exactly. He's got his boots and his kit bag. Just from England's point of view, I mean, is it about finding that ruthless edge, killing this game off and killing it off quickly?
The big thing to me, Alex, and we said to these guys, the first half's over, we know what the score is, start again, 0-0. Can we just replicate that first half? Nothing flash, go out and can we repeat it? It's now a 40-minute game, not an 8-minute game, and let's beat Ireland 12-3, second half. Let's repeat again. But all good news for England at the moment.
Yeah, OK, good stuff. Thank you very much indeed. For now, gentlemen, OK, we have got the second half in just a few moments' time, but one of the other things that we have been talking about, certainly with Sir Clive, is this Twickenham factor, and it seems to have had a real impact on the English performance today. A big, big crowd. The team will be getting used to this over the next couple of months, but everyone here in white will certainly want to see England finish this one off in style. We've got the second 40 in a few moments' time. Half-time, England are 12-3 up. They desperately want to finish this one off to give themselves a result to galvanise their efforts and that of all the supporters around the country as well. But Ireland are not Six Nations champions over the last 2 seasons for nothing. They have been fairly average at times in that first 40 minutes, but can they find something to hang their hat on as they head towards the World Cup as well? 9 the difference, and we'll hand you back to Stuart and Miles for the second half.
So England then looking to go into the World Cup in 2015 unbeaten here at Twickenham, a venue where they have self-belief and want to feel impregnable come the big competition. Can Ireland put a dent in that? Despite the way the first half went, Ireland far from out of it. That has gone forward, which will frustrate Jared Payton, who was setting it back for the first attack of this second half. But 9 points is a big gap, but it's not out of hand, is it, Stuart?
No, not insurmountable. A good kick-off there from Johnny Sexton. Paul O'Connell got his hand to it, but he couldn't control it. And that's been the story of Ireland's first half. Inside balls, they got the hand to it, but they couldn't control it. I think Shane made a very pertinent point at half-time. Ireland have got to find a little bit more width at some stage. England have got those condensed areas really handled well.
Ireland driving over the ball in the first half caused problems for England at one scrum. Nearly did again there, but that's good recovery from England and Ben Morgan. George Ford, again, it looks as if the chasers may have just got in front of Ford. Johnny May hand on it, that's definitely a knock-on. Tommy Bowe. That poor start to the game, never really got away from him in the first half, that cloud that hung over his game. He's much better than that, as we all know, the Lion. Who's to say he won't have the final say in this second half. Simon Zebo's taken a knock as his opposite number, Mike Brown, puts the ball out. And these will be the worrying moments for the coaches really in this second half, and you'd expect to see the benches emptied. There has been a change at half-time, and there it is. Roy Maybank has come on to be the assistant to referee Nigel Owens. That injury to Roman Platt, he's taking no chances on the eve of the World Cup.
Zebo doesn't have the option to just hobble off like Romain Poit. He's got to stay on there. Rob Kearney, a little bit of a niggle, and he needs a break too.
There's Henshaw.
Good carry.
Right over that gain line. Testing England's defensive line speed there, Henshaw. That'll be flat pass from Redden. There's O'Brien. This is what Ireland will want at the start of this second half, a settling period with plenty of possession and a chance to build themselves into this match. It's just starting before half-time. They had that extended attack which led to nothing, but it was much better than what had gone before. Redden has caught, but he's got the ball back to Omani. O'Brien, Toner, he slip. The attentions of Johnny May. Omani again to Rory Best. Redden to Sexton. Here's Henshaw once more. Just his 12th cap, 8th for Jared Payne. They've built as a partnership this year. Ireland have certainly known where they've been going in the centres. Omani again. O'Brien again.
England are so fast off their line still at the start of this half.
Here's Sexton round on the loop to find Zebo. It came off Watson, and Brad Barrett is there in the backs, England's defensive captain. And there he was.
Hughes, stay back, lads. Inside.
Ben Youngs.
Cracking first half, Ben Youngs, and that's a very good kick at the start of the second half. Early pressure from Ireland. Devon Toner involved in it. He plays the role of Brodie Retallick, loves to pull that pass back, and from that's when Sexton loves playing his little loops, and here he showed he's got sweet hands as well. Toner, of course, has the looming shadow of Ian Henderson pressing for a place, as maybe so does Peter Omani.
Is Henderson a man who's gone well in the warm-ups, and as you say, putting pressure on lock and back row because of his versatility. There's a man who's played quite often in the back row, but mainly a lock. And Jeff Parling, he was taken off in the first half for a blood injury. This time he is replaced by Joe Launchbury.
Jeff Parling will be very pleased with his work there. His 1-2 line-outs, the line-out was improved, but he was also pretty physical in his game.
England, stay on the line, stay on the line.
Launchbury, not quite the line-out ace that Parling is, but very good around the loose.
Dropped by Owen Redden. Although Ireland have started the half in a more encouraging fashion, they cannot eliminate these errors. That must be a concern to them and also to Shane Horgan. Shane.
Yeah, kicking game has been such a big part of Ireland's performances over the last couple of years under Joe Smith. Hasn't worked out for them. They haven't used the kicking game in a big way, and when they have, it hasn't been very effective. We saw in the first couple of minutes of the second half already Sexton has used it to effect. I think we might see more of it. I think we need to see more of it.
One of the things England will be pleased with is the way that May and Brown in particular defused the early pressure. When Murray was on the pitch, there was quite a lot of good kicking, but England handled it very well.
Better scrum from England here, giving Morgan a chance to keep it in, to go for the penalty. We wondered if Heaslip was going to do it at the end of the first half. Well, Morgan certainly did it there, the England number 8.
I'd like to see England have a real killer edge and go for the 3 points here. Chris Robshaw and myself haven't always agreed in decisions, going for goal or not, especially in his early years, but I think the captain is spot on there. All George Ford's got to do is now kick it from around 45 metres.
It's his 39th cap, 38 as captain of the side, Chris Robshaw, and he has been putting himself about, along with Tom Wood, as you can see there. Tom Youngs, and Clive was making the point about Robshaw and Wood and their influence, and it's backed up by the stats.
Yeah, because they're making the tackles, but more importantly, they're playing their part going forward as well. Chris Robshaw had a couple of very quiet games against France, home and away, and England really do need the man who's been selected their captain to set an example, and he is today.
A moment come the crunch games in the World Cup that Ford will need to make the most of. Kicks like these, it's going to be tight. Ooh, it is very tight. Well, Ireland and Sexton got one in the first half off the bar, and Ford and England have got one in the second half. You knew that from the moment it left the kicking team, it was going to be right on the edge.
To be honest, watching that kick, I actually think it hit the backside of the crossbar. It was almost over when it hit it. Plenty to spare there, George Ford will tell you. Good kick. Makes Chris Robshaw's decision to go for the 3 points an excellent one.
Sexton restarts. England's position not great there, and that was well claimed by Ireland. And Sexton leaving out Toner that time. He slipped. Just starting to show signs of getting across the gain line here, Ireland. There's Robbie Henshaw. Look how far Ireland have progressed on this attack. Mike Ross. Redden to Sexton, and again from Omani's pass. Here is paid on to Carney, who's looked lively. Mostly in defence, but now getting a turn as an attacking force in this match. There's McGrath. Redden goes in again. Sexton. Turner leaves it once more. Zebo gets it back from Bow. There's a bit of space for these runners to work in, and Heaslip, the kind of man to take full advantage of that. Now just a couple of metres or so short. It's Sexton once more. Launchbury goes in to make that tackle. Redden to O'Brien. England can't afford to be passive here. O'Connell tests them. And it's a penalty.
6-1, ruck form, not behind Heimer's foot.
Well, England will take that penalty 99 times out of 100.
6-1.
Green shirt sweeping round right to left. England stretched. Brad Barrett, key defensive organiser, on the floor. What do you want? A penalty. England will accept 3 points here. It could have been worse. Start with a really poor restart there. And an excellent chase from Dave Carney, who has been bustling, been busy all the time. England's defence was very good with this Irish spell of pressure. They never committed themselves. They kept their width, and that was important here. If England go in for the kill, look at Johnny May. If he steps in too early, Tommy Bowe is in space and he's away, and the Gloucester man just held off, and the support arrived. But it should now be 3 points for Ireland.
Well, if it's not, there's something wrong. Sexton from here. Probably almost do it blindfolded. Thank goodness he got it. 15-6.
Well, the balance of this second half, Ireland are very good value to be 3-3, aren't they? They've had most of the possession. They've been dangerous. That was Johnny May. Six Nations criticised for his headless defence there. He was just holding off and waiting. England did a really good job. Tom Youngs, he does not hold off and wait. He puts everything into every tackle.
Launchbury getting involved there. Strangely anonymous in Paris. Again, he wasn't alone in that. Laws alongside. Oh, they got a mention, really. Much more coming from the England second rows, including Parling, who's left the field now. Reddin's box kick. Mike Brown, supported by May. There's George Ford. Ben Morgan is going on one of his rampaging runs, finds Brad Barrett. Been turned over. Good work by Jamie Heaslip. That Paul O'Connell sniffs something down that blind side with the two centres, Payne and Henshaw. Henshaw chips. There's a lot here for George Ford to do. He's going to need help. He gets it from Johnny May, and he somehow gets the ball out. But it's Ireland pressure now.
Cracking work from Ireland there at the breakdown. Turnover really hurt England there. Driven back 50 metres. And it was not pretty, but May and Ford got it away. Jamie Heaslip does a good job. That's where, you know, a Tippereka, Warburton, a Pocock, a Hooper does so well. Launchbury is good, but Heaslip's a natural back row forward, and he just gets there ahead of him, and that's a 50-metre turnaround. Great work from the Ireland number 8. And a little bit loose from England there.
Throw to Devon Toner is good. Here's Jamie Heaslip. Again, it's Tom Youngs in with another tackle, but Ireland come through. O'Connell and score! And Ireland know that to win in the host backyard will be a wonderful way to go into the competition. And Paul O'Connell gets that try.
Well, it comes from the turnover, but then the technique is excellent. 6'11", Devon Toner. He's not going to be harassed there by the attention of Courtney Laws. Ball to the tail. England just gets sucked up there. Paul O'Connell drives over. And a word also, Nigel Owens. No need to go upstairs and check that. Look at the referee there. He gets down on his knee. He watches as O'Connell picks up, drives low. Great finish from O'Connell, brilliant refereeing from Nigel Owens.
The man who is bound for too long to play his club rugby. He said right at the start, determined that this will not be his last international performance on this ground. Powerful finish, Sexton's conversion. Here's Johnny Wilkinson.
Yeah, just a little point from the side here. You've got to look at this try. It doesn't get enough credit, but watch the ruck clear out here on Heaslip. Goes down. Watch the clear out by Best. Not only does he clear the ball very, very quickly and take the man past the ball, but he clears the guy back into the ruck away and creates an enormous channel there for us to run, for the Ireland guys to run through. And O'Connell takes that channel at speed, and already the England defence there is having to recover. An enormously detailed clear out which made that try.
And now we have a contest, don't we? Whether or not England should be out of sight is irrelevant now. Redden. Here's Mike Brown again, but Tommy Bowe goes up. He was eyes on the ball there, Bowe. But there is an advantage being played to England, and Mike Brown might have been hurt, and he's slapping the floor in pain. He's up to his feet, but he is limping, and here is Wood. Youngs to Ford. Here's Courtney Laws. This doesn't look good for Brown, you know. We concentrate on the ball on the far side now with Marler. Back from Ben Youngs, finds Jonathan Joseph. And Jonathan Joseph comes through. A morass of bodies there. Brown's moving a little bit freely now, or more freely than he was. Laws, Brown's waiting as Wood has it. And stolen by Johnny Sexton. From the clutches of Tom Wood. Heaslip. George Ford is trying to rip it away from him.
Step.
And Owen Reddin puts the ball out. Mike Brown undoubtedly is going to get asked about his state. We go to Clive Woodward.
Yeah, interesting. During this field of play, England had 2 penalties. And, you know, the referee's played advantage, rightly so. You see his hand out now. That's a penalty to England. Just stop the game, take the 3 points and build the score. You know, World Cup times, games are going to be won by 1 or 2 points. You've got to just collect these points. So we had 2 chances of taking 3-pointers, and we've carried on and carried on. The advantage is gone now, and he doesn't give us the ball here, Owens, and we lost the chance. But we've just got to be very clinical in how we think about winning this game.
Well, I would say there, Nigel Owens is one of the few referees who actually, when a penalty is given, doesn't say advantage over until a try is scored, or in England's case not. So I think England are playing Owens, and most referees would have gone back for a penalty. They invariably let the play go on and on and on.
Vunipola squared is on. Should that be cubed? Mako and Billy. Here's Pat Sanderson.
Well, it was a well-orchestrated line-out from Ireland, but England just over-committing to the drive. They did not see the peel coming at all. They left 3 men on the blind side. Then as we run this on, you can see they execute the peel well, but only Marler comes round the corner. Marler versus O'Connell, try Ireland.
It's the 2 M's, Marler and Morgan, who've gone off. Mike Brown is still okay. He's out there and he's running off, I think. Looked a nasty one initially. He was hobbling all over the place.
Good 55 for Ben Morgan, I think. Really proved the point, proved his fitness there.
Mako Vunipola. Youngs to Ford, and then here comes Courtney Laws. Launchbury goes digging and finds it. Here's Billy Vunipola. Well, it's not the best service to... It was meant to be for Barrett, forced to Joseph in the end. Rob Shaw on to May. It's 12-3, remember, at half-time. Ireland with the second half try scored by Paul O'Connell. England with 2 first-half scores. May and Watson had a third, but that was disallowed for a forward pass. Would have been the scoring pass. Mike Brown is going up there again, and he's won it. He's beaten Dave Carney. And he's beaten the injury as well, it seems. Launchbury, that's a good pass. Forward to Vunipola. Billy Vunipola carries into the Ireland 22. Youngs again. Here's Ford. Little show. Oh, that's a lovely show and go. And he was nearly gone. Ben Youngs looks for the space as well. Launchbury could have gone wide there. Ireland getting players across there now. Paul O'Connell, one of them, but he's going to be tested on the inside by Anthony Watson. He was just too quick there, the winger, Mike Brown. And he's trying to find the strength to see off Carney, who's still smarting from that defeat to Brown just seconds ago. It's a good battle between those two. What a chance for Launchbury to get that ball away when England had more space and a clear man advantage to the right. Now they go left, and Rob Shaw.
He's picked some great lines around the fringes, Chris Robshaw. That one goes to ground, but he's been a ever-present threat.
Billy Vunipola. Ireland contest with Payne at the breakdown there. Crowd get involved.
Drop goal, Ford fancies it.
He's dropped right back here. England have to hold on to the ball first. O'Connell's got a mitt in there, and it's been turned over, and Ireland have a great chance here. Henshaw, now that has to be forward, and Nigel Owens has seen that in live play. And now Zebo and Sexton have heard the whistle as well. Now, is that an injury? No, Henshaw's okay. You do start to worry at this point. And you can see it, sorry, you can just see it with the coaches, so nervous looking on.
Do you know what? I don't think Joe Smith's nervous about an injury there. I think he's absolutely livid with the inability of his outstanding young centre to really put that one away. That was a great opportunity there for Ireland. There's Mike Brown earlier, taking the ball, but a couple of minutes later, they're 70 metres out, but in some ways, just as Tom Young should have put May in for a score, well, this really, even from this distance, should be a score. It pops out for Payne. Oh, Courtney Lawes has done well to put the pressure on, and again, May does pretty well. And as we discuss Ireland not taking a chance, everyone in Twickenham gets all very excited because Sam Burgess is coming on and Ford is going off.
And Farrell's on as well, Richard Wigglesworth on there as well. To England's new scrum half, and Ireland have made a change in the front row. Nathan White's replaced Mike Ross. So 4 goes for Farrell. And number 23, Sam Burgess, replaces Brad Barrett in the England centre.
I just say this, 9, 10 and 12 have gone really well for England today. It's not been Ford's flashiest performance, but that midfield axis has been excellent. Big test now for Wigglesworth, Ford and Farrell to maintain that quality.
Ireland have lost Dave Carney to a blood injury. And Robbie Henshaw's come off as well. He got that clomp from Courtney Lawes. It's led to Joe Smith, I'm thinking, I'm worried about the player or angry with my man. Cave on, Madigan on, and Zebo's gone to the wing. He slipped to Reddin and Sexton. Good ball again for Ireland at the scrum.
He fell down into that, not tight. Fell down into it, not tight.
Madigan finds Zebo.
That's 2 against the head England have lost.
Yeah, driven off one, and that one a bit more conventional in terms of against the head, a bit more old school. That's Tommy Bowe. And that's Darren Cave. Jack McGrath. England penalty. And they won't be rushing this one.
Well, I assume that Owen Farrell will put this into the corner. And I've got to ask you, Clive, is this a 9, 10, 12 to close out a game at 15, 13, 20 to go if this was a World Cup match?
Well, Stuart, you called it before. You said Ford's back ready for the drop goal. I was hoping that would take it. Look at the scoreboard with 2 points up. Just build it, get to 5 points, put the pressure on them, that they know you're more than just 1 penalty ahead. So, you know, you've just got to be thinking about the scoreboard all the time, and drop goals haven't got to be the end of the game. They can be anywhere during the game, and I just wish they'd set it up there, take the 3 points, build the score, build the score.
Well, Farrell's gone for touch here, just that too far out on the kick for goal on that occasion. And Ireland bring on Chris Henry and Rickard Strauss as well. It's that time of the game where there's so many comings and goings normally, but especially in a World Cup warm-up match. And here's Jamie George, second cap. Got that run out at Paris. And did well in the time that he was on the field. He's done well there. O'Brien off for Henry, as you see. And obviously, Rory Best for Strauss. Owen Farrell gets a touch now and a chance to put Mike Brown onto that at speed. Wigglesworth, Billy Vunipola. Wigglesworth again. Here's Sam Burgess. Gets the offload in, but that is forward as well. Only just, but again, Nigel Owens well positioned.
Well, Burgess off, and a word for the man he's replaced, Bradley Barrett. Thought that Ben Morgan would have pleased England's selectors with his state of fitness. I thought Barrett had an excellent game there. England now changing their game, trying to drive it tight. Some lovely distribution here. Super pass from Wigglesworth, and that's a lovely ball off the left hand by Owen Farrell. And Burgess, he's got the right idea. And that's close, almost.
That close. Another change for England. Kieran Brooks is coming on. Cap number 12 for him. Off goes Dan Cole, tight head.
Dan Cole will be slightly disappointed, won't he? England's tight head. the man to shore up the scrum, and it must be said Ireland have taken 2 against the head today, and it isn't that often in Test match rugby you lose 2-0 on the scrums in terms of heads.
There's a mark. Stop leaning, hold the pressure back. Let's him move. Shoulder, please.
One more go.
Crouch.
Go.
Bind. Set.
And here's the moment for a big scrum. Ireland solid as a rock there. Forward comes Darren Cave, the Ulsterman. Peter O'Mahony. Redden. Sexton sliced that.
Cramps up. And now all of Ireland will be hoping that's cramp, and it is cramp, Ireland, so relax. Well, I hope it's cramp.
Yeah, any doubts? Any doubts? We reward the attacking side, okay?
All the bench replacements used. Sexton sort of has to stay out there.
Better 14 men than take a risk with Sexton, key playmaker. Now Jamie George started like Bobby George. Can he keep the arrows going? Indeed he can.
There's Wigglesworth, Burgess. Not carrying the ball with him. Of course, Furlong could come on for Sexton. That'd be an interesting change. Donica Ryan too. Slip in at fly half.
Getting back to that England move, it was good. Burgess just doesn't hold it. Wigglesworth's come on, and his distribution is very quick indeed.
Excellent last scrum, boys. Same this one, please, okay?
Lovely line out. Tom Wood, who's had a good afternoon there and all round. To be honest, I mean, it's a decent move, but Ireland are actually marking that area.
Bind. Set.
Under siege a bit here, Ireland. Need to try and break it.
Let's use.
Redden, Sexton. This will test the cramp. Ooh. Almost feel that up here. Ouch.
Does strike a lovely ball, doesn't he? A lovely spiral. There's not many left now.
Keep that form, okay?
That's the slice. And there's the cramp. Second strike much better.
Next up, edge, next
Well,
up,
Donica
edge,
Ryan
next
has
up.
emerged. He's the next man to come on for Ireland. Tom Ward not quite to Wigglesworth, but it bounces up nicely for the England scrum half. Then it's Joseph to May and Brown. His wasn't Grant, looked like a nasty turn on the ankle, but doesn't look like that now. Thankfully for Brown, and England launch spree. Had to be a knock on, and it's given.
Sorry, Jenny. If he did, I didn't see him. Sorry, okay?
Well, there's been talk in the last month or so of Alex Good putting Mike Brown under pressure, and Brown has responded, as he so often does for years, with an imperious aerial display. The fury of aerial bombardment is one of the great Irish tactics in rugby union, and who do you want under it more than that man, Mike Brown? The chase is good, the kicks are good, and Brown, whether he's receiving kicks or chasing kicks, has shown great technique and fortitude under that ball.
Well, Donica Ryan has come on, and Dave Carney is back, so his blood injury has been cleared up. Now that will allow Johnny Sexton to go and put his feet up.
Yep, and Ian Madigan into 10. All the talk in Ireland in the week was about him being the third choice 9. I think Joe Schmidt would rather him be 10. The Sexton hobbles off. I'm pretty certain that is purely precautionary. Ian Madigan goes to 10. A mercurial talent, not always a game controller, but this is a period with 15 minutes left and Ireland behind. A moment of magic can turn a game.
Talking there about Johnny Sexton. Having said that, if you were my GP, I would be changing practice.
I'm just thinking whether I'd be working at the weekend. No, I'd be commentating.
Zebo carries over halfway. Madigan slotting into that fly half roll. Of course, he's played there many times, played all over a back line during his young career, but fly half a role he's very accustomed to. He has been told to cover scrum half as well in this squad, with just the 2 selected. And here is Madigan again. Here's Anthony Watson, and then Courtney Laws. So much more of Laws around the park today than was the case in Paris. That's well played by Chris Henry to find Darren Cave. Dave Carney takes it from Strauss. Little chip. Cave might get on the end of this, and does.
Really good play again from Carney. He's been excellent.
He's gone through a little bit of a quiet period of the match, but now with it very much in the balance, the spoils are there. And Jared Payne, an opposite number, Joseph. That was a tremendous tussle between those two, won by Joseph, and Farrell boots it long downfield, and now Zebo's hobbling.
Courtney Laws too.
Carney straight to Mike Brown, who bursts onto that and tells Anthony Watson where to go. Mind you, he's known where he's going right the way through this series, Anthony Watson. There's Jamie George, clubmates Wigglesworth and Farrell. Now it's Burgess. He's looking for someone to pass to. Rob Shaw. And there's Launchbury to George. I think Laws is cramping up as well. Owen Farrell. Wigglesworth, Brown. Crowd waiting to burst into life again. A little bit like the game here. Vunipola. Wigglesworth, Joseph. Looks for that space. Where is it? Burgess. May. Oh, on the outside. Blistering gets away from the first man. Brilliant from May once more. Wigglesworth. Farrell. Billy Vunipola with the line calling it. Wigglesworth surely here for England. They've got so many wide, but not the delivery. Mike Brown retrieves. England go again. Rob Shaw as Wood takes over. Launchbury's turn. And still Launchbury. Wigglesworth. Has he done it? Well, Rick Strauss thinks not. What does Nigel Owens think?
I thought he said yes, he said check. I'm going to check.
Yes, check. Similar when there's 65,000 or 70,000 people there.
Time out.
Well, if England have scored
Do
here...
you think it is, or...? So yes or no, or any reason? You're not sure, okay.
Any reason? I don't think. Try your that. Okay.
Yes, no, any reason.
Sure?
You're not
just
sure.
not sure.
We're not sure, so try yes or no, please.
Okay. Thanks, Roy.
Well, he certainly got it down, but did he get it on the line? That's when Strauss goes in after the ball has been placed on terra firma.
This is the angle, Miles. This is the angle. So I think he's hit the line there. Second movement, and he's entitled to do it.
If it's not a try,
It's been a nice cameo.
It's down first of all short of the line. Then does he get it on the line, or is then there a hand in stopping it from touching the line?
That looks like great defence, doesn't it?
Sean?
Severe doubt here.
Yes, tell me please.
This was the one that shows it going short there. That's clearly short.
Nigel, just I would want to show you something.
And now we need to zoom in.
Okay, yeah, this incident here. You see number 6 was in front of the other player.
Well, there's another issue,
He
yeah.
grabbed that ball.
Tom Wood earlier in the move.
Now that was 2 faces back. Nigel, that was
Takes
2
it from an
faces
offside
back.
So that's
position.
within the protocol, yes?
Yeah, that's in protocol, 2 faces back.
Okay.
Okay.
No try. Within 2 phases back, you took the ball in front of the player.
So it didn't matter whether it made the line or not.
Crowd may boo, but it's within the protocol. And doesn't it make everyone's life easier to decide whether that ball hit the line or not?
I'll tell you now.
Tell you what, Sean Veltsman's running hot today, isn't he?
Outstanding.
Before the displacement centre offside,
Well,
in
one
the
of
ruck
those
before, within the 2
interesting
phases in the
changes has just
protocol,
been made.
the
Tadhg
player in front
Furlong's
took the
come
ball
on to
from
win his
you, so
second
he's
cap.
offside. So that is a penalty against you here, no try.
Both
Okay?
people not have their hands
No,
on the ball at
it
the
doesn't
same
matter.
time.
You had the ball there, he took it from you.
So
okay?
Nigel Owens finished there with that explanation to Chris Robshaw. So it's a penalty for the offside. The man going off for Furlong is fullback Simon Zebo. So Ireland are back down now.
Spot on, Sean.
Well, England are finishing strong, but they do need a score just to close Ireland out of this game. It's been a really plucky second half from Ireland. Joe Smith will be pleased with a lot of what he's seen.
And you sense there's a lot that we haven't seen that have been kept under wraps moves from both sides. Should they meet again at the World Cup? Brown. As the home team, the win will mean perhaps just that little bit more to England as they go into the home World Cup. But can Ireland do themselves a favour, maybe do the rest of the world a favour by shaking England here at their HQ? Johnny May, as it ricochets to him, taken out by Reddin. England will get a line out.
But I'll go back to Wigglesworth doesn't score the try, and there's the couple of phases before, and Woods offside in front of Chris Robshaw. But England blew it, and Owen Farrell really is guilty here. You look at the numbers England have. It's a 4-on-2, and that's a speculative pass. It enables all the Irish shirts to drift across the field. That was really poor play there from Owen Farrell. That had to be put away. His running line was lateral, his pass was poor.
There's 2 England have missed, what with a Launchbury chance to go wide as well.
Yeah, but as a second row, he was under a bit more pressure. Your fly half has to make those one-time
Oh, sure,
runs.
yeah. England go for the rolling maul inside the final 10 minutes. Wigglesworth, Farrell, Brown. Now, was that forward? It was.
Passes forward. Number 6, side of the ball.
So it's a penalty anyway to England on this side at the maul.
England should go for 3 points here. They don't want to leave Twickenham with a shock late defeat. Next game up is Fiji. They played some good rugby, especially in the first half. They want this crowd to go away and come back in 13 days thinking, yeah, we're winners.
You haven't been blessed with the best of patience, have you? I suggested to you, cool it down now and let us make the decisions when they happen, okay? That's the end of it, okay? Thank you. Post, yes?
Bit of fatherly advice there from Nigel Owens, even though Dad's actually in the stand.
He's got a volcanic temperament, hasn't he? The son, not the dad. We'll get a good slap for that pass as well, I reckon. The next one, by the way, to Mike Brown was an absolute beauty. But you've got to nail the killer passes. That's a very good pass, and then Mike Brown, clearly a metre forward. The 22 makes that obvious. Now, important kick for Farrell and England. he can't give his son a slap. You're not allowed to do that. I'm sorry. Owen Farrell is quite old.
Yeah, he's 23 now, but he's packed an awful lot into those 23 years and into his international years. And right the way through those years, he has been a world-class kicker from the moment that he burst on to the international scene.
Yeah, England's goal kicking in the autumn series has been pretty good, hasn't it? It was excellent in Paris with Ford. Ford kicked well today, and when Farrell comes on for him, 9 times out of 10, that's always the result, 3 points.
Madigan restarts. Farrell, he has a little hobble after a kick. It's catching, it's infectious. And Bow finds row A, and it's well caught. And kicked back on.
The Sexton screw kick. Find that man. Or woman.
Come on, boys, please, let's go.
I was going to say, Owen Farrell is a man who has had a habit of cramping, but you'd like to think on the field for 10 minutes. It won't be happening quite yet.
Good line out from England. George on the money again. Here goes Burgess. Trying to force his way into this match. Farrell. Joseph. May. George. Run from Tom Wood. Here goes Farrell looking for Burgess. Laws couldn't take it.
Come off the leg, accidentally inside then off your leg, scrum green ball, okay?
It's all got a little bit scrappy.
Pretty obvious what England are going to try and do there, but Ireland handle it fairly well. It's nice to see him getting a low driving body position. Playing club rugby, you've seen him too high, just trying to make sure that he lays it well. At least here he's really committed himself. Something we haven't seen for a while as well. Tom Wood carrying. He's carried much better than I've seen him in a year and a half or so. Do you hold that one or do you take the pop? No. Skill level's right, it's there, but it's hard for Courtney Laws to take, isn't it?
Keep the pressure off. Seconds. Crouch. Bind. We're all pre-engaging, boys, okay? Just take a step back in, please. Keep back up, give a bit more space. Step back. Space.
Up over 80,000 for the attendance. Tickets going to be very hard to come by for the Twickenham occasions at the World Cup. Carney. Got a beg, borrow, steal for your mate for tickets for the England matches here at Twickenham and beyond. And England get a penalty towards the end of this, the final match before the World Cup, and a chance for Rob Shaw's team to close out this match.
Well, this should be the end for England if this goes over. Time for man of the match. There's been a few contenders. Carney was the pick of the Irish, but the best back on the field, I think, Johnny May. Very exciting, quick, good in attack and defence. Chris Robshaw, his best game in a white shirt for some time, but my man of the match is Tom Wood. James Haskell had the number 6 shirt for most of the Six Nations, but Wood has come back today. He's carried well, he's tackled, his line-out work has been excellent. Tom Wood of Northampton, he is my QBE man of the match. A fine performance, and I think it probably puts him in pole position to play against Fiji.
Another 1 or 2 mathematical issues at the end of the France game here at Twickenham when he was captain, but he's had very few negative issues today.
It wasn't a Nobel in mathematics, it was man of the match.
And that's the exam he wanted to pass, and he has done today. And Farrell, with this examination, passes that one too. Game line.
Well, Lancaster talked about the collective, didn't he? Here we see Vunipola with a massive hit. 3 minutes to go on the clock, but it's Laws and Vunipola. Great pressure on the ball and a crucial turnover that's allowed England really to close this game out.
And the match now, England lead by 8. Should be, will be, their win now. Madigan, almost convincing pass, but it found its target, which was Jared Payne. Ireland trying to get the last say here. Carney.
Away, quick.
Cave, Madigan, in goes Burgess, trademark tackle, might lead to a try here. Wigglesworth, Johnny May, back goes Cave, and also Donica Ryan goes down and saves the day.
Reload, Dean, reload!
And that's what Sam Burgess does. And Reddin puts the ball out. There's just time for one more England attack. The game is in the bag, and Burgess can afford to give a little wink.
Well, that's positivity that comes from pure negativity. A massive hit from Burgess. Actually, the ball is going away. Tommy Bowe's overrunning. But he'll have enjoyed that, and so would those men who have invested a lot of faith, putting Sam Burgess in 31. Some would say a lot of faith in the 45. A lot of pressure on. Now this man, Jamie Joseph, what a good quiet period he's had. Jamie George, he's been superb. He's not the all-black flanker who doesn't throw well. He's a Saracen and he throws very well.
Just saw Kieran Bracken running away at the mention of that. England knew the clock, they knew the situation, they knew that the victory was theirs. And that's what they wanted to head into the World Cup. Twickenham to celebrate a victory, and they've won by 21-13. 3 more victories here in the pool stages, and these England fans will be very happy indeed.
Gonna have to step up a bit, Mars. I thought England in the first half were excellent. We saw hard, direct running, some superb finishing. Second half, not so convincing. For Ireland, they lost the game, but we saw very little in terms of their creative back play. There's more to come from Ireland. They are still on cue for that big game with France. Fascinating stuff.
Yeah, surely Ireland will not play as badly at the World Cup as they did in the first 40 minutes here. And you do sense that both sides are keeping plenty under wraps should they meet again. As the away side, there was less pressure on Ireland, but the fact is they will be going to the World Cup on the back of 2 defeats. England will not be. England have the victory today, and over the whole of the piece, they deserve that victory too.
Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. We've got Johnny, Shane and Sir Clive alongside. England victorious in the end by 21 points to 13. And Clive, from a coach's point of view, how important, how significant a result is that for the men in white this evening?
Hugely significant, because of a huge step up from the Paris game, and I think they'll be very pleased the first half especially. I think the starting team will be the team that starts against Fiji, and there's a case of everything, you know, they got their set piece right, just a variety of the game. But what I was most pleased about was Robshaw and Wood. We got some really good play from the back row. The linking game was excellent, and they'll be very, very pleased.
At half-time for Ireland, it seemed the alarm bells were ringing pretty loudly. How loud are they now?
Well, less loud than they were at half-time, certainly. Ireland came back into it, but you're always going to have England. We're going to be incapable of keeping that sort of sustained intensity to the game right the way through. So Ireland were going to have an opportunity. They were going to come into it in the second half, and they did. But there's still concerns about the basic skills, and I think more than anything else, concerns around the defensive pattern, because they couldn't compete with Ireland in that with England in that opening half. Direct runners, powerful athletes, and the outside break when the mismatches occurred. That's something that we saw the first game against, the game against Scotland. There was a lot of missed tackles, and they haven't rectified that, and that will be a concern and will have to be addressed, because the intensity that we saw from England in that first half today is exactly the sort of intensity we're going to see against England, against Italy, and against France in the third and fourth game of the World Cup.
England going to their team huddle. You'd imagine Stuart Lancaster will be fairly satisfied. Likewise, the captain Chris Robshaw, who Stuart was saying performed admirably this afternoon. What do you feel have been the big pluses today from England's point of view?
I think winning at the end of it, the way they've won is big. More and more players are putting their hand out and showing that, yes, I've done it, but I've done it again. You know, this is the second, third performance where I've shown it, which is great. Guys are stuck together and they've played a good game plan and tactically got it right. I think issue for me is that they've played against a team who are subpar today, and at half-time that game should have been done, and 20 minutes half-time that game should have started looking like, actually, now we'll put this to bed. But last couple of kicks at the end have given the scoreline a nicer ring for me, but there's still work to do there. 3 weeks ago against France here, it was the same situation. The game went dead in the second half. Got to find that ruthless nature, that killer instinct now, which just says, right, if you guys aren't here for this challenge, we'll move on without you, sort of thing. And teams are at 15-12. Ireland are still in this with 20 to go. They're thinking we can, we can snatch one here. That shouldn't be happening to this England team at the moment, playing at home.
OK, gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for now. We are just about to hear from the England captain Chris Robshaw, with the squad making their way around to thank their fans. And let's get the skipper's view with Graham.
Chris, congratulations. Have you and your team rediscovered yourselves today?
No, I think it's great to be back at home. We know when we play at home we can be pretty good when we stick to our systems and the way we want to play. And I think we did that today. Discipline was a major issue for us 2 weeks ago whenever we were in France. And we had a real emphasis on this. But yeah, to come against and play against a quality side like Ireland and get a good result there. We felt we put them under pressure and they put us under pressure, so it's a great kind of final dress rehearsal before obviously the big one in 2 weeks' time.
Fantastic start. You had 12 points on the board in the first 12 minutes. Took you 68 minutes to put another 9 on the board. If you're being picky, would you say could have been more clinical today?
Yeah. I mean, potentially we left 2 tries out there for a little bit of, not being quite clinical enough, but that was exactly the start we wanted. Come out kind of all guns blazing, get the crowd right behind us. And I think the team really fed off that today. Yeah, second half we came out of blocks a little bit slow. But all in all, we're pretty pleased with the way things went today.
You and Tom Wood, between you, broke the tackle counter, I think. You had 18, Tom Wood had 15. Defence again, key to the England strategy today.
Yeah, well, look, we knew Ireland are a very good side when they look after the ball, and we knew we were going to be tested, and we didn't want to give away any cheap points. Giving them 13 points is pretty good. You look at teams who do well in the World Cup, you can only give away kind of a few amount of points, can't you? So look, there's areas to work on. We won't get carried away, but yes, we're in a much better place than we were 2 weeks ago.
Chris, congratulations, well done, well played today. Thank you. Paul O'Connell is in. Paul, commiserations. Would you accept the better team won that today?
Oh yeah, probably. We started very poorly. I think England dealt with the aerial threat really well, and then we kept the ball in hand. We dropped it, kept turning over the ball. I think we put a lot of pressure on the English line-out, but then when they got a 7-metre drive, they forced the penalty advantage and scored a try off it. When we got a 7-metre drive in the first half, we lost it. England stole it. So, you just can't accumulate that many losses and hope to win the game, especially in the first half.
2 defeats in a row, Paul, will provoke some headlines, as I'm sure you'd accept. Correctly so? I mean, should alarm bells be ringing ever so slightly across the water?
I wouldn't say alarm bells be ringing, but we're very disappointed, you know. We're not so much about the result as about all the things that go into creating a result. And I think the last 3 games we've fallen short in a lot of the things we need to do to create a result, so that's disappointing.
Commiserations, but congratulations on the try. Thanks, Paul.